Alright, next up is homework number 2 here, or 02HW1, Solving Equations MultiStep. Now in class, we talked about combined like terms, and what combined like terms was. Combined like terms, CLT, as the abbreviation. What combined like terms is when you have something of the same variable, like 6x plus 3x. We could actually combine these two, because this 6 has an x and 3 has an x. 6x plus 3x is 9x. Or if we have 7 plus 3, well, 7 and 3, they're both constants, so you could combine them and make 10. If you have 2y plus 6y, you could combine those two and it makes 8y. Now you could also subtract them too, so if you had 10a minus 6a, 10a and 6a, they both have an a. So 10a minus 6a gets you 4a. And that's combined like terms. You combine something that has the same variable, or if they're constants, you just combine the numbers like you did in 5th grade. Now, if these are two different letters, you cannot combine like terms, because after all, they're not like terms. For example, if we have 6a plus 4w, 6a plus 4w, since this is an a and this is a w, we cannot combine the 6 and the 4. I repeat that, since it's 6a plus 4w, we cannot combine the 6 and the 4 because both of these terms have a different letter. Also, we probably talked about when letters are to a different power, meaning that they have a different exponent. Let's say we have 6x plus 3x to the 4th power. Well, 6x, that's really to the 1st power. And then the 3 has the x to the 4th power. When there's two different powers, or two different exponents, even though that they're the same letter, or the same symbol, they're not exactly the same because they have two different powers. So we cannot combine. Cannot combine the terms. Alright, let's get right to the homework now. We're going to do problems 1 through 5. We're going to practice combining our like terms. So problem number 1. We got negative 3m minus 10 plus 7 equals negative 24. What we got to do, we have to combine our like terms. So we look everything on the left-hand side of the equal sign. Ask yourself, is there anything we can combine? And then we also do the same thing on the right-hand side. But this is an example. We just have a negative 24 on the right side. So we don't have to worry about anything on the right side just yet. Now, negative 3m minus 10 plus 7. Well, negative 10 and positive 7, they are like terms, so we can combine them. So that's what we're going to do in our first little step here. This is given to us. Our first step, negative 10 plus 7, gets us negative 3. Now when you're combining like terms, you don't have to do this to both sides of the equation, because it's just all the work is on the left-hand side of this equal sign. So we're just combining it like that. We're taking two terms that are alike and making it simpler, making the problem simpler. We carry down our 3m. So we have negative 3m minus 3 equals negative 24. And what we did was combine like terms for that step. The next step that we're going to do is that we're going to add 3 to both sides, because our goal is to get the m all by itself. So we add 3 here. We add 3 there. Now since we're moving something to the other side of the equal sign, we got to make sure we add 3 to both sides of the equal sign. So what we did, add 3 to both sides of the equation. And then we're going to rewrite it. We're going to simplify our work. So we have 3m, because we carried that down, that negative 3m. Negative 3 plus 3, they cancel out, so we don't write anything. We carry down our equal sign. Negative 24 plus 3 gets us negative 21. So all we did here was rewrite. Rewrite our equation. Now we have a negative 3 times m. Now the inverse operation of times is division. So to move that negative 3 to the other side, we got to do division. So we're going to divide by negative 3 to both the left side of the equal sign and the right side of the equal sign. Divide by negative 3 to both sides of the equal sign. And then we're going to simplify here. Negative 3 divided by negative 3, that's 1. And we don't write our 1, we're just going to write m. Carry down our equal sign. Negative 21 divided by negative 3 gets you positive 7. And that's our solution. Negative 21 divided by negative 3 gets you positive 7. Because a negative divided by a negative gets you a positive. And that's problem number 1. When we look at our answer choices, it's A7. So the answer to number 1, the letter is A. Next up, we'll look at problem number 2. Problem number 2 is 10 plus 5v minus 6v equals 13. That's given to us. So we write given. First we look on the left-hand side. Is there any terms that we can combine? Turns out we have a plus 5v and a minus 6v, and they're both to the same power. So we can combine these like terms. So positive 5v minus 6v, that gets you negative 1v. So we combine these two terms. We carry down the 10. So we have 10 minus 1v, carry down our equal sign. And carry down our 13. What we did was combine like terms, which is what we're practicing here. Now, there's nothing left to combine on the left side. We look on our right side of the equal sign, and there's nothing to combine with the 13. That's on the right-hand side of the equal sign. So the next thing we need to do is to get the v all by itself by inverse operations. This 10, it's a positive 10. So you use negative 10, because that's the inverse operation. We subtract 10 from there, and we also subtract 10 from the other side of the equal sign. Notice how I put the negative 10 underneath the 13, because 13 and 10, they are like terms. They both don't have any other variables. So we subtracted 10 from both sides. Now we're going to rewrite it out. Negative 1v equals 13 minus 10 gets you 3. And positive 10 and negative 10, they cancel out, so you don't write anything there. So all I did was simplify. Or rewrite the work. Now we have negative 1 times v equals 3. We want to get v all by itself. So this is negative 1 times v. The inverse operation of times is divide. So we're going to divide by negative 1 to both sides of that equal sign. So divide by negative 1 to both sides. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1v. So we just write v. Because 1v and v, they're the same thing. 3 divided by negative 1 gets you negative 3. And that's our solution. V equals negative 3. We look at our answer choices, and we see that's D. So number 2 is D. That's our answer for number 2. Let's move on to problem number 3. Problem number 3. Problem number 3 says negative 7n plus 9n equals negative 6. So negative 7n plus 9n equals negative 6. So in this problem, we're going to combine like terms and solve for n. I'm just going to solve for that symbol or that variable. Negative 7n and 9n, well, they're like terms, so we can combine them. Negative 7 plus 9 gets you positive 2. So negative 7n plus 9n gets you positive 2n, which is equal to, carry down that equal sign, negative 6. This is our given. We combined like terms. Negative 7 plus 9 gets us that 2. So we combine like terms. Now we have a times 2n, or sorry, 2 times n. So the inverse operation of times 2 is divide by 2. So it's divide by 2 to both sides of the equal sign. And we get n equals, well, times 2 and divide by 2, they cancel out. That's how we just get the 1n. Negative 6 divided by 2 gets you negative 3. And that's our solution. As far as multiple choice, that answer is A, negative 3. So in the multiple choice, the answer is A for problem number 3. Next up, we'll do problem number 4. Problem 4 says 9v plus 6v equals 0. So 9v plus 6v equals 0. So 9v plus 6v, well, we know they're like terms, and this is what's given to us. 9v plus 6v gets us 15v. Carry down equals 0. So all we did was just combine like terms. This is 15 times v. The inverse operation of times is division, so we're going to divide by 15 to both sides of that equal sign. So divide by 15 to both sides. 15 divided by 15 gets us the 1v. 0 divided by 15, well, that's just 0. And you can put that in the calculator, always double check yourself in case if you doubt yourself. V equals 0, that is our solution. And that will be B for us the multiple choice, because it says 0. Last problem we're going to do is number 5. Number 5 says 4r minus 5r equals negative 10. This is what's given to us for problem number 5, so we write given. We ask ourselves on the left-hand side, is there any like terms we could combine? Well, positive 4r minus 5r, those like terms can be combined to negative 1r. Carry down the equal sign, equals negative 10. So what we did was combine like terms. Negative 1 times r equals negative 10 is what we have. The inverse operation of times negative 1 is divide by negative 1. And we're going to do this to both sides of that equal sign. So we divide by negative 1 to both sides. Both sides of the equation. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 gets you r. Negative 10 divided by negative 1 gets you positive 10. And that is our solution. Which is D, 10. So our solution is D. Or the multiple choice, the answer is D. Now it's your job to complete problems 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 of the homework on your own. And make sure you fill out the whole entire Google form, including the first 5 problems that we did together. Make sure you put those answers in also. So your job to earn full credit on your homework assignment is not just watch the video, but put all the answers in to the Google form and complete problems 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 on the Google forms. Remember, if you have any questions, make sure you come to Extra Help or ask me during class. All right, have a good night.